Okay, so let's go through some of these in example two in this video. And again, maybe you know how to do a lot of these. You can do them on your own and check at the end of the video. But again, just to kind of get a good feel of some of these transformations. So what I might look at perhaps is what if you have something like part B, where you've got both a negative and a negative? Those are two transformations. So remember, this particular negative here is all of the x's are changing places. So if all of the x's change places, that's a reflection over the y-axis. This is affecting the y values. So now all of a sudden, all your y's are changing places. So it's a reflection over the y. So this has both a reflection over the x and over the y. And so you might want to do it in stages. That's fine. You could do that. So, the image of, this kind of almost like a little dash, right, that kind of comes through. If I first reflect it over the y-axis, it's going to look something, pick a different color to differentiate that. It's going to look something like this. And I said to pick a color. I thought I selected the color. Let's try that again. So I'll go here, pick maybe this green color. Right, so you're just reflecting over the y-axis. So where it is on, over the x-axis, all the y's are changing. Oops. And so if it's already on the x-axis, nothing happens. Okay, so that green image would be the image that you get if it was just this negative, right? Because just reflecting over the x-axis, all your y values would change. Now, take that image and take that image that we did in green, now reflect that new image over the y-axis. Let all of your x's change position. So now this right here becomes this value there. And so I can mirror this out. So this loop, like this loop here, will be this loop here. Right? And then the loop that's like this, the loop that's like this part here, will now look like this. Right? So you have the more of the longer loop, and then goes up and goes back down. So again, like, how would you identify this point? Well, think about where it came from. It came from here, and then it came from here, right? So think about like the effect here. This negative 15, comma 8 became negative 15, negative 8. And then when you reflected it over here, it's going to be positive 15, but still have negative 8 as its behavior. So, so if I think about what will that graph look like, if I can kind of summarize that image here. So we're going up and through there. And then, that might be a little high, my bad. So we go up, down through here, something like that. So we know this point right here is 15, negative 8. Okay, and then again, think about like, okay, well, where did this point come from? Well, originally it was from here, and then before that was from there. So again, so the negative 5, that bounced up to a positive 5, so that was negative 5, 5, and then on this side it'll be 5, 5. So I know this point right here is 5, 5. And then, you could go other key points like, what does this low point here with that point? So again, thinking about where did it come from? It came from, originally it came from this green one, which came from here. So we don't really know that point necessarily, but we could think about like the other points, like this 15, negative 5. Like I know what happened to that. It became 15, positive 5, and then when reflected over here, it's negative 15, positive 5. So I know that at least that point is negative 15, positive 5. This point of 1, 0 eventually became over here to negative 1, 0. So I can fill that spot in. And think about this negative 8 now is behaving over here as a positive 8. So it's negative 1, 0. That's positive 8 comma 0. And, you know, this intercept here of 12, 0 now became negative 12, 0. So you know, so that's the image of both reflections. Okay, maybe I'll do one more here. Let's do something like maybe this one right here, part D. Okay, so it says do absolute value, but then take their opposites. So if you think about what would absolute value have looked like, so absolute value, if I erase this, start over. So absolute value means take anything that's below the x-axis, right? So take anything that's here and make it reflect above, you know, in terms of it being a positive. So that means that this little loop down here will actually loop up here, and then this little tail end down there would reflect up there. So the image of just the absolute value of the function will look something like this. So if I had to graph that, that would be that blue image. But now it says take whatever that is and now make all the y values negative. So after you've made everything positive, you're going to do I shouldn't say make it negative, but in essence it is. It's going to do a reflection. But the thing is if everything was already above your x-axis, a reflection now means everything's going to be below the x-axis. So we're going to take this image and just reflect that below the x-axis. So now that's going to look something like this. And it will only be below the x-axis because of the fact that the behavior after you've done absolute value is now to make all those y values their opposites as well. So I'm going to try to sketch that graph there. So I have like a little tail end here. Let me get the x-y axis here. X and y. And remember, I'm just replicating that green. So this negative 15, 8 becomes negative 15, negative 8. Or maybe it's down here more, I don't know. And then you do a little, like two little valleys. I don't like this though. Let's fix that. Maybe more something like this. More something like this. And then I'll like that. So I want to say that's a little bit closer. Let's see. Oh, I actually crossed the other side. Got it. It might just be easier just to drag that down, that green image, right? Can I just drag this, right? Just drag that down. That's the image I want. And it goes something like that. Oh, look at that. So much nicer. Why did I think of that sooner, right? So let's just erase this. Look at that. Try to use the smartboard smartly, right? That's what I say. Put a pen, finished up the axes. And then go ahead and draw this here, right? So then, like I said, now we know, oops, sorry. Oh, try that one more time. So now we know, maybe, there it is, that should be sitting right like that. So this point we said was negative 15, negative 15, negative 8. On the x-axis don't change, but then the other one up here would be 15, negative 5, right there. Okay, so again, getting some more practice with those transformations. Now, in class, then we'll look at some more, like what happens, like we know this, right? We've studied that transformation, but what happens to this, right? So, so I think those would be good exercises. You can try them right now if you like, or certainly you could wait and we could do them in class as well. So. Okay, so very nice, and like I said, we'll go ahead and continue working on this once we get back to class.